Rally back on the banjo a bit here.
Our core instruments have been in so many climates since we left. I went from about 30 degrees in North Carolina to minus 15 in Michigan, and then it got up to 0 there for a while, and then it went back to minus 15, and so they don't know which way is up.
I left these accordions in the car, it's just not a good thing, period. But they've been around the world with me, we've been, through hard times. But we left them, we were in Bloomington, Indiana or something like that. It was like around freezing, we left them out there, which is still not a great idea when it's freezing, but they do okay if it's not that cold. And it dropped so far, it's like 15 below. Man. And when I picked them up the next morning, I was playing them, made the worst sounds you've ever heard in your life. I can't even want to describe it. Rather than sort of imitate it, it's kind of like
It went.
So that ain't good.
Yeah, every single reed did that. But then when they warmed up in the glue, or the seals kind of got back to their normal state, then they were fine. But when they shrunk up, then they didn't seal it. It kind of sounds like a seal, actually. Speaking of seals.
Kind of did that, didn't it? On the push notes, but on the pull it was right.
It's more like a pterodactyl. We're going to get Riley to sing a song right now. It's called False Hearted Lover Blues. And it's one that we learned from Dirk Boggs, who's a great banjo player from up in around Northern Virginia. It's one that we also got to play with Levon Helm, a great American drummer and singer and musician of all kinds. And some of what we'll talk about tonight, we'll talk a little bit about some of our heroes, and this my papa, we'll talk about some others, Boisek, and we'll talk about Doc Watson a little bit. But some of these musicians are the ones that give you the freedom to dig as deep as you can in your heart and in your soul and your sense of rhythm and feel and everything else. To kind of continue this kind of music, or American music, or just roots music in this way where, in a way you think about who passed on such and such material, or who did this or who did that, but some of these people give you the source of where it is in you, and how to fearlessly go as far into it as you can get. And playing with Levon was exactly like that. He lets you put that beat in the deepest place you could imagine it and be like, that's where it goes. Okay. It's really cool.
And I think part of the reason that Levon really loved Doc Boggs too, he really was into that sort of dark, mountainy type blues. And part of the reason for that is because Doc Boggs was one of those people, was one of those musical icons that people go to, as Dirk says, not just as the source of the tunes, but as the source of the energy, the source of everything that is about the music, And you listen to Doc Boggs and you go, man, you can do that? And basically, these people that we're talking about, when they looked at music, the only rule that they followed was the fact that there are no rules. So that made them open up and allowed them to play the music the way they felt it. And that's what we like to do. So Doc Boggs was one of those people. He started out his career as a coal miner, but then in the mid-1920s, late 1920s, he had a brief recording career. He came up out of the coal mines and he worked as a banjo player and traveled around and played and sang and made some records, but then soon after he went back down in the mines. And I always say, because I suspect it was safer in the mines than it was as a banjo player. Because a lot of bad things happened to a lot of good banjo players back there in the 1920s, poisonings and shootings and bad liquor during Prohibition, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I actually did find a banjo at a pawn shop up there around Jenkins, right in that same neck of the woods. And I really regret that I didn't buy it. It was $100, and I didn't have $100. I was probably 20 years old. But it had a bullet hole through the head. Really did.
Yeah.
Somebody hold this thing when that happened, or what? It had that bullet hole right through it. Okay.
Well, this tune we're going to do, basically the story is this. This old boy has fallen in love with a girl, and this girl has just had all of him she can stand, and she dumps him. Ever heard that story before? It happens. Doesn't happen to everybody.
Just theoretical.
Yeah, but so at the point where we pick things up here in the story, he's quite vocal about his displeasure with the current situation, and well, even to the point that the second verse is, they'll bite the hand that feeds them, spend all the money you can save. From your heartstrings, they'll weave silk garters and build a doghouse on your grave. So at that point, Brother be hating on her pretty good, is what I'm thinking. You know, it's pretty bad. And by the end of the song, he's just so not into her anymore that he's really going to show her just how much he's over her. He says, "When my earthly stay is over, sink my dead body in the sea. You can tell my false-hearted lover that the whales will watch over me." So he doesn't need her at all anymore because he's resorted to oceanic mammalia.
Thank you, Professor Baugus.
My pleasure, Dr. Powell. Now let's see if through all this we've got this thing in tune. The story's good though, right? You like the story? Yeah. Okay, it's good. I particularly like ocean.
The name of your next record.
Sometimes an old blind hog stumbles upon an acre. You can say. So there you go.